Welcome to another episode of Chat and Chew. My name is Gigi Naval, and our episode today is entitled Rise and Shine, the Power of Breakfast. Ooh, I love that title and I love that topic. But before we talk about this exciting topic, let's get to meet my amazing students. They are all nutrition and dietetic students in the master's program, and they will be graduating in less than a year. So this is so exciting. So I'm going to start with Miss Tarika. Miss Tarika, where do you come from?
I am from St. Louis, Missouri, moved out to Southern California because I fell in love with the weather and was blessed enough to find this program here at Loma Linda University. So I am now proudly living in Rancho Cucamonga.
Yay. So why Loma Linda University when there are so many different choices?
Yeah, sure. I looked at Austin, Texas and San Diego, SDSU, but then I found Loma Linda University. We have the coordinated program here, which is amazing because not only are we getting educated, of course, we get our supervised hours under RDs, and then also we get the internship rotations within the program as well, hence the coordinated program. And so it's just killing two birds with one stone type of deal.
Yeah, that means you did your homework.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even know about Loma Linda University until I was already in Southern California.
Got it.
And so I'm so happy I found it here.
Yes. Yay. God led you to us.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you. Miss Jeanette, where were you born?
I was born in Riverside, so I'm right here from Southern California.
Nice. And what sparked your love, your interest for nutrition?
Well, for me, it was when my grandmother was diagnosed with diabetes. She had a lot of trouble trying to find what to eat. The doctors were always telling her not to eat certain foods. So I really pushed for her to see a dietitian, and I went with her during the consultation, and I just fell in love with the detail that was given to her in terms of really the connection between food and how it was going to help her.
I love that. Thank you. And last but not least, Miss Emily. Hello, Emily.
Hello.
Hi, where do you come from?
I am from Los Angeles, California, so like Jeanette, I am local.
Yes, wonderful. And once you have RDN by your name, what would your ultimate dream job look like?
I feel like that's kind of always changing.
And that's good. That's a good thing. I support that.
Yeah. When I first came into Loma Linda, I was actually very interested in the clinical route, but I have a food service background.
Yes.
So when I did my food service rotation 2 summers ago now, I really enjoyed working at the school district there and just like interacting with the kids and developing the menus there and ensuring that they have food.
Yes.
So currently, I think that my dream job would be working at a school district.
And being a director.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I love that. And we will see where God takes you in that. All right. Okay, ladies, breakfast. Here we go. So, a lot of people do ask this question. So why is breakfast the most important meal of the day?
Which is a really great question because breakfast, it really helps jumpstart our day. It's our fuel for our bodies. It helps with our brain, which helps with our concentration, helps us improve our memory and be able to stay focused. And that's why it's so important for adults, especially children, to have that breakfast in the morning. It's what's going to help them during their day at school, at work. And not only does it help us give us energy throughout the day, but it also helps us feel full so our thoughts are not on our hunger.
There you go. But yes, I love that you emphasize children, especially when they're in school, but even all of you who are in school too, it benefits you too. But it helps with that, being able to stay alert and staying focused while the teacher is talking. While learning, So excellent point. Thank you. So my next question is, what effect does breakfast have on our health?
Yeah, so kind of like what Jeanette just said, breakfast does jumpstart our metabolism.
True.
And so think about if you skip breakfast, like she said, our body is low on fuel, our brain's low on fuel. As we're waking up, our blood sugars are dropping.
Right.
So if we skip breakfast, we're unable to concentrate, we're feeling sluggish, low energy. So we want to make sure also, because we don't want our thoughts on hunger, we want to make sure we have fiber and protein in our breakfast so that we stay full until lunch. And studies have shown that people that skip breakfast, they tend to be at higher risk for prediabetes, and they could have higher blood sugar levels post-lunch.
Yes.
Because when we're hungry from skipping breakfast, that drives our hunger choices, whether we're snacking or we just choose to have poor meal choices at lunchtime.
That is amazing, all that information that you just shared. So that really supports the notion that when it comes to prolonged intermittent fasting, that's really not a good idea, because a lot of people then skip breakfast, and then all those issues can then increase the risk. So yes, thank you. And okay, so what are the nutrients and the food groups that are important to have while we eat breakfast, and why?
Yeah, so building off of this idea of having fuel for our brains, specifically sugar and glucose, we want to try to aim for complex carbohydrates with fiber that you can get from whole grains, which are found in things like whole wheat toast or oatmeal. And that's because these complex carbohydrates digest more slowly and are more slowly absorbed by your body, so you don't have that spike in blood sugar, and it'll keep you sustained for a longer period of time. And building off that sustained feeling of fullness and energy, you want to make sure that you also have protein, which you get from dairy or eggs and nuts and seeds. And nuts and seeds are also great because they're a good source of unsaturated fats. And yeah, that protein and the fat will help you stay full for longer and help you focus on school until lunchtime.
Wow, that's phenomenal right there. Now, here we go. People are busy, okay? And what are some strategies that busy people can actually follow so that they are getting a really beneficial and nutritious breakfast for them?
A few strategies I use is I am still a pen and paper type of grocery list person, so I will write down my grocery list, pen and paper, but make sure you include those breakfast items on there so that when you go to the grocery store, you're not shopping mindlessly, you know what you're getting and where you're going. And to build off of that, since you're menu planning, you want to also meal prep for those breakfast items. And that could be something as easy as when you're at the grocery store, get those individual package of yogurts. It's already a serving size.
True.
And so to meal prep, you can put blueberries in a container ready to go, or whatever fruit, even a banana off the stem ready to go for the morning, or granola in a container. And something I've actually been doing is when I'm making Sunday dinner, I'll just chop extra vegetables. So like bell pepper, onion, spinach, and mushrooms. And I have a muffin tin thing, so I sprinkle those all throughout the muffin tin. And I get egg whites in a carton and pour it over them. While I'm eating dinner, that's in the oven cooking, you know? And so my meal prep is happening as I'm eating and enjoying my dinner. And I have egg bites in the morning for the whole week.
Wow.
And it doesn't have to be a lot of ingredients like you heard. You can keep it simple, and also routine really helps me. That's another huge strategy, whether it's overnight oats or chia pudding, the egg bites, keeping it simple, and throughout the weeks and day to day you can have different varieties, but still a routine.
You hit on something that's so important, is simple. A lot of times people think when you cook, it has to have all of these ingredients, it has to be fancy, but actually simplicity is actually a gift that can really help us live healthy lives with regular breakfasts and even other meals too. So I love that. And the fact that you emphasize routine. Get it part of your daily habits.
And keeping it simple and meal prepping for yourself can even be easy enough to meal prep for your significant other. At least that's what I do. So it's pretty simple.
Beautiful. All right, let's talk about cultural food preferences. So how can someone incorporate what they absolutely love because that's what they grew up eating? And how can they make a balanced breakfast while honoring their cultural preferences?
Yes. Well, I grew up in a Mexican household, so I grew up with having a breakfast was consisting of like potatoes, tortillas, a type of meat, eggs, pan dulce, just a variety of just different stuff. So I try to focus on portions. So for example, if I know that I'm going to have a slice of pan dulce, I won't eat tortilla that morning and have a small piece of pan dulce along with my breakfast. I also want to make sure that I add vegetables, so I'll make sure to mix that in with my eggs or have a fruit and veggie smoothie on the side.
Excellent. That sounds so yummy. Like you just made me hungry just now. So excellent.
Yeah.
All right. So how can we make breakfast versatile to please each person in the family? If you're living with other family members, how do we do that?
Yeah, I can personally relate to this.
Okay.
My husband is a very picky eater. He wasn't used to eating breakfast. So I try to think about things that we both enjoy, try to incorporate both likes into the meal, try to keep it simple, maybe making 2 or 3 items that'll add a little bit of variety, and then we can both choose how we want to eat it, whether a burrito or a breakfast sandwich.
Yeah, I bet he was so grateful to marry you because you improved that part of his life.
Yes.
Nice. That's a great practice right there. All right. So when people go grocery shopping, and what should they look for? What should they look for in the foods that they choose to make, or what grab-and-go type of items would be better to choose?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things to think about when choosing foods for breakfast at the grocery store. First is to look for something that is low in added sugar or have no added sugars. And that's because those added sugars are simple sugars, so they'll cause a spike in your blood sugars in the morning and then that crash that you don't want.
Right.
And another is to look for whole grains, because those have both your complex carbohydrates and your fiber source. And you can get those, again, from like ready-to-eat cereals, oats, as well as when you're looking for grab-and-go items, or like if you're going to make grab-and-go items, buying that whole wheat tortilla for the burrito. And lastly, there's like a lot of things to think about.
This is good.
Is to look for things with protein to, again, provide that feeling of fullness for a long period of time. And if you eat dairy, then you can get that through milk or yogurt. If you also eat eggs, you can get eggs. I know many people might be hesitant about eating eggs because there's this fear that the cholesterol in eggs can raise your cholesterol. But research has now shown that high cholesterol levels in people are actually due to more so like lifestyle habits and like the amount of saturated fat you're eating, the amount of exercise you get, as well as other habits like alcohol consumption.
True, and to add to that, it's actually also when people go through transition into menopause or andropause, it's the shifts of the hormones that can also play into those cholesterol. So that's why we should not be afraid of those, the great edible eggs. So yes, all right. Okay, so let's see. If I'm getting breakfast, or me, myself, anybody else, if anybody is deciding to get breakfast from outside, so what should they look for?
Yeah, of course. So when you're eating out, whether it is eating out, picking up food, drive-through, whatever it may be, you want to make sure you have carbohydrates that you pair with protein, because you want to, as much as you can, eliminate the blood sugar spike, and you want to maintain it more flat. And so something I do personally that it can be a strategy you or anybody else can utilize is when I eat out, I look at the menu beforehand. Because when you look at it ahead of time, you can see what to expect, kind of plan what you're going to eat, and then a la carte items as well. If I wanted to add protein on the side, like a side of, I don't know, sausage or even fruit, just to have, if I have an omelet that doesn't have fruit on the side, but I want that, So that's really nice. But I know you guys have a few more strategies for eating out too.
Yes, I tend to do drive-through since I commute. So I always try to look for something small, something with protein, usually something with eggs, and of course something I'm going to enjoy.
Yeah, all right. Do you have something to share, Emily?
Well, so building off actually what Tarika said, instead of like looking at the a la carte menu to add something on, I'll look at the a la carte menu to build my own platter, because sometimes you don't like their platter options,
Right.
or you don't want like 3 eggs, you only want 1 or 2. So I'll build my own plate.
I love that. That is excellent. This information that you shared, ladies, is fantastic. So yes, please show us your recipes, what you have over there. Go ahead and go over there right now.
Right.
And yes, we can't wait to see what you have in store.
Right. Okay, so first thing we are going to start with is a cottage cheese toast. This is something I eat on my Saturdays and Sundays, whether it is pre or post morning workout, or even on my mornings that I just have longer time before I have to get ready for school. And so first thing we will do is make sure the toaster is plugged in and on. And then I get sourdough bread. And the benefits of sourdough bread is it's fermented and it's actually prebiotic, which is good for your healthy gut. And it's a little chewier, so some people like that. I don't even really notice that. So we're gonna go ahead and put it on. And then with the cottage cheese toast, of course, cottage cheese. And then I also do an apricot butter spread because it's like so there's a sourdough bread, but then there's like the sweet with the savory. And so it just all builds in together. And also with sourdough bread, since it is fermented, your blood sugar spikes won't be as harsh as white bread would be. So then you get the protein from the cottage cheese, a little sweetness from the apricot, and then also your sourdough bread. This meal is about cottage cheese. A serving of cottage cheese toast is about 13 grams of protein, and each slice of sourdough bread is about 4. So that's 17 grams of protein right there from one sourdough toast, and I do too. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was going to say that you can also use other types of bread for the toast, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great thing.
You bake.
Yeah. I was a baker before, and I really like making sure that the sourdough bread that I choose will have whole wheat. And you can choose things with like nuts and seeds in it too. So a lot of breads these days will have flax seeds added to them or pumpkin seeds. And it's a good way to try different grains too, because if you don't know if you like millet, you can buy a bread that has millet in it and see like, oh, does this flavor, throw me off, or is it something that I want to incorporate into my diet? But I do really like the chew that sourdough has. Yeah.
And I know Emily's actually never had this cottage cheese toast, but what are some alternatives you would do?
Oh yeah, I'm a big toast person. As a former baker. So my favorite go-to toast is very simple. I'm a peanut butter toast girl. With sliced bananas in the morning, and that's something I like because I can also share with my dog, which he starts drooling once I press the toaster button. He runs from the room. And other savory toast that I like to do is avocado toast with a fried egg if I have time. And I know some people will also do sliced smoked salmon, which is great because the salmon has the omega-3s also and adds that smoky flavor.
I do avocado toast with salmon on top. Love it. Sorry to cut you off really quick. So what I do, I know it's probably prettier to put your cottage cheese on top and then the fig butter or apricot butter on top. But honestly, functionality, it's easier if you can spread the it could be any jam, any preserve, whatever you want. Apricot's just something fun and festive for the season. And then we would put the cottage cheese on top. So half a cup is a serving of cottage cheese, and usually you can get that on one full bread. And so there we have it, one sourdough cottage cheese toast.
So delicious.
I know, you guys are gonna have to try it when we have Dr. Naval come back in.
Yeah,
Yes.
I love that it's kind of like a riff on a cheese board because it has the cottage cheese
Oh,
spread.
I didn't think of
Fruit
that.
spread, yeah. So,
Yeah.
Oh my God, it is a charcuterie board. Did I say that right? Charcuterie?
Yeah, charcuterie.
Yes.
Charcuterie. That's so fun.
Okay.
All right, so then next we have chia pudding, right?
Yes,
Jeanette?
we have chia pudding, which Tarika mentioned. It's such a great thing to meal prep with this. We want to make sure that we get the chia seeds nice and plump, so we're going to put in the water. This, of course, is going to take a few minutes, but the good thing about it is that you can also leave it overnight, and then you can get them nice and plump like I have here.
And you can actually also vary the amount of water that you put in there depending on the texture of the chia pudding. So right now what we have is a 1/4 cup of chia seeds with 1 cup of water. And if you don't want it that thick, you can add a little more water to that as well.
Yes, because it does come out a little thick once it's been overnight.
And really quick, chia seeds are also good in rich in healthy fats, but also protein. It has about 1/4 a cup has about 10 grams of protein. So believe it or not, these little hidden protein gems.
Yes, they really are.
They will help you stay satiated longer.
Yes, and then I'm going to add in some Greek yogurt because Greek yogurt is also a good source of protein as well. This one is unflavored, but you do have some flavored options if you do want to add a little bit of sweetness into it. I prefer unflavored because I'm going to be adding fruit, granola, and coconut here. So that itself is already going to add some sweetness. So I like the balance between the tart taste of the yogurt with the sweetness of the fruit and granola.
And you can always add a drizzle of honey.
Yes.
Or even maple syrup, actually.
Yeah, or agave syrup.
Yes. So here I have it nice and mixed. And then we can just start to layer it into our cup.
And as she's doing that, I wanted to add, we were talking about cultural foods earlier. And so something, I know Jeanette brought up how it's usually a tortilla and potato. For us, very similar. I'm Indian. So what we often have, when I go home and my mom cooks for us, she makes a paranti. And a paranti is a bread stuffed with whether it's potato or cheese in the middle, in the inside. And then we'll have it on the side with dahi. And what dahi is whole milk yogurt, Indian yogurt. And so since that's high in fat and carbohydrates, I'll make a chia pudding or even a yogurt with berries on the side to make sure I'm getting a full balanced breakfast. So now we're adding in the mangoes.
Yes, I'm gonna add in some mangoes. It's really no particular order to add the ingredients. It's really more of preference, to be honest. I just kind of like the crunchiness of the granola, so I like to add it a little bit more on the top, and then the fruit to balance off, and then add the coconut on top because it looks nice.
Yeah, and what I love about this one is it has like strong tropical vibes.
Yes, I was gonna say, people think probably mangoes aren't common. You could do bananas, any type of berry, but why not mango?
One that I actually really like, which is very festive for like Christmas, is to do pomegranate seeds because that's in season in the fall and winter.
With pistachios?
With pistachios, and they're green, so you got that red and green color.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Yeah, and then we have our delicious chia pudding.
Oh, that looks so good.
I know. Okay, so last but not least, we have muesli, which is actually from Switzerland. And it's very simple to put together, and it's something that you can also meal prep. And right now we have a cup of oats, and we're just going to add 1/2 cup of dried fruit, and right now we have cranberries. Just because I feel like cranberries they feel like a fall fruit that you add into things. You can have cranberry pie and stuff. And
I love cranberries.
Yeah,
so good.
Pumpkin seeds, which also have that same red-green thing. Like
I didn't think of that. I love that.
Christmas is coming.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then also a 1/4 cup of chopped almonds. And so you just mix that all together. And again, so this is something you can make in advance and store in your pantry. And you can eat this just like regular cereal, not cereal.
I've actually made this and put it on top of my yogurt because it's basically just a granola.
Yeah. And you can also use this mixture as like an overnight oats mixture. So if you don't want to eat like raw oats, I guess overnight oats are still raw oats. But, if you want something maybe a little softer and like not as chewy, this is a very chewy breakfast. You can set 1/2 cup of this mixture into the fridge overnight with either water or a liquid of your choice. Yeah, and then you can just add as much milk as you want. And right now we have soy milk here. Soy milk's a nice option for people who are completely plant-based, because it has a good source of protein in it compared to other nut milks. But the one thing to keep in mind when you're looking for non-dairy beverages is to look for things that have added calcium, or they're fortified with nutrients that you would usually get from calcium or from dairy.
Yeah, I really like it's a different taste to regular cereal.
Yeah, and exactly what she just said. It is cereal. We just made our own cereal. And so this actually made 4 servings. And so that's why when Emily said you can put it in a bag and put it in a Ziploc and store it away.
Yeah.
And so all of these, like I said, this is more so, cottage cheese toast is more so of a, when I have more time on my hands kind of meal. Honestly, I sometimes eat this in the car, but don't do as I do. This can even be meal prepped for a busy morning and stuff,
Yes.
but the granola on the side, of course.
Yeah.
And the same with the muesli.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I love about the chia pudding too is that like it's something that I can pack to eat at school or at the office, like when I used
Yes.
to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Naval, would you like to try?
Oh my word, yes, I've been waiting and just drooling back over there.
We have a few things for you.
I'm gonna start over here first.
right.
We have a cottage cheese toast with
Wow.
apricot. Are you allergic to apricot?
No, I'm not. So, okay.
Dig in.
Look at this. This is beautiful. I never thought of cottage cheese and apricots together.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know. I do fig
genius.
butter actually too.
That's good.
And it's a sweet and savory. I know. Bang for your buck.
I bet you blueberry jam would be good
Oh,
too.
I've never had blueberry jam. Ooh.
Wow.
Any type of preserve.
Yeah.
It sounds chewy, huh?
No, I love chew.
We were talking about that.
I love crunch.
Yes.
And the sweet and savory. I haven't had apricot. Haven't had that in a long time. So that's delicious.
And this was my first time when I got into this a few months ago, having apricot jam. And so
Okay.
I'm on a kick right now.
Yeah. But cottage cheese. Whoa.
Yeah.
Pair that up with something sweet. Oh my.
And it's low fat and high protein, and it's
Okay.
one serving is less than 100 calories of cottage cheese.
Wow. I love that. That's a winner.
It is.
Okay.
We have this one for you.
have this
Oh,
one that's
well.
A little parfait chia pudding. I know.
Mess it up. Wow, look how gorgeous that is.
I know the layering.
Okay, let's do this. Should I mix it up a little bit?
You need to get
And
everything
And
in
yes,
one bite.
The best thing about it is that you can eat it the way you want.
Well,
You can eat just the fruit if you want.
I want to eat everything for sure.
That has the crunch.
Yes.
I'm in crunch heaven.
Yeah. And
Wow.
just choose any granola that you
Yeah.
like.
Yes.
If you don't like granola, you can just do nuts. Or if you don't
Yeah,
like
you don't even have to do
crunch, yeah,
granola.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
Even
But who
just,
doesn't love crunch? My dad. My dad doesn't love crunch.
I'll tell you who. You can even do just the chia pudding with mango. It kind of reminds me, my heritage, of mango lassi or like a mango treat. That's why with the pistachios, oh man.
Oh my.
You can also hydrate the chia in like coconut milk
Yes,
or almond milk.
I do
or
that
almond
actually,
too,
instead
yeah.
of water.
Yeah, but I noticed for me, I prefer using water because it makes the chia seeds plump up a little more.
That's true.
Yeah.
You got to have that plumpy experience.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's kind of blasé.
Crunchy chia seeds.
Yeah, I know, right? Yes, I've been there, done that.
Yep.
That is not fun. All right, one more.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, excuse me. I'm going to come over here.
Make sure to get everything in one bite.
Everything in one bite. Even
That
this one too.
cranberry, oof.
Yeah.
Have you ever had muesli? You have? I just heard about it from Emily.
Heavenly.
Breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
Yes.
Make it fun.
Yes.
Make it fun and delicious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And all three are through the roof delicious. Ladies, thank you so much for what you've shared. This was powerful, impactful, delicious to a T. And thank you so much for joining us and join us next time on another episode of Chat and Chew.
Thank you.
Thank you.